I guess I was a kid. I was probably like 10 when I first went. And that was when Disney was, completely different. It was one park. It was, you had the ticket books. And the very first time I went was with my grandparents and my sister and my three cousins. And we drove 2 days to get there. And once we got there, we got our ticket books, and our grandparents sat on a bench and said, "Okay, you got 2 hours. Enjoy the park."
Oh my gosh.
We had to do the entire thing, and then of course the fight ensued over what we were going to do with those 2 hours. And as a kid, we only went, every couple years.
Hmm.
Now, as an adult, I'm 48, and I go generally at least once a year. Some years more, but at least once a year. I think being thrown into it as an adult, you may not necessarily have the memories that sort of bring back that kid within you. Like I have all of these amazing memories from all the years. I think I would probably, because of the type of person I am, I think I would enjoy it anyway. But I think having that connection really helps. We didn't go very often when I was a teenager. I went more as a little kid, probably like 8, 10, 12. After that, there was a long period where I really didn't go. And then I rediscovered it as an adult, probably it must have been about 15 years ago, because I finally could afford to go and do the dream trip that I'd always wanted to do as a kid. Maybe I'm actually experiencing as an adult all the things I didn't get to, but I wanted to experience as a kid, and so as a result, it's still got that appeal for me. A lot of the things that are sort of must do for me aren't necessarily attractions.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I love nothing more than going out to Tom Sawyer Island and sitting on the dock and rocking in a rocking chair and just like being surrounded by the experience.
Yeah.
Like you can hear the wolves crying from the haunted mansion, and you can watch the riverboat go by, and it's just, you can see the kids running all over Tom Sawyer Island, which was always one of my favorite places. And to me, like, I actually could probably go to Disney, and no, I really couldn't. I say I could go and not ride anything, just like wander around and be happy in the parks. In each of the parks, and even in some of the hotels, I have places where I can just, for example, the Wilderness Lodge, which is my favorite resort. On the sort of second level, there's this wonderful little alcove with these really comfortable big couches in front of a fireplace, and I will just go and sit there and nap, and I will be perfectly happy because I'm in my happy place.
Yeah.
And I think that's true in every park. There's some place or something that if I just sat there all day, I'd be perfectly happy. Then I'm going to write a book about Disney, and it's basically going to be a guide for if you are planning a trip and you have someone on your trip who's a Disney hater, planning a trip that will be as making it as less painful, which isn't really a phrase, but making it as painless as possible
Yeah.
for that person. Like if they happen to be a sports fan, here are things that you can do with them that they might actually enjoy. If they're a foodie, here's a restaurant to take them to, that kind of thing. Because I know there are a lot of people out there who are Disney fanatics, and fate seems to push us towards people, whether as friends or spouses or whatever, who hate it. And
Yeah.
so, if I can make those relationships a little bit better, then I'll have done my job. My career path has been kind of weirdly random, so
Hmm.
I do think that my career path will eventually end at Disney.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who imagines that whether it's the career I'm in now ends or I just get old and retire, that I will be one of those people who retires and stands at the gate and waves at you as you come in. That's kind of how I imagine my career path ending.